Well, good afternoon. I found this kit at my local hobby store, and I'd been wanting to build another armor kit. This one caught my eye. Only $38.49, which I thought was a pretty good deal for it. It's a Tamiya kit in 1/35 scale of the M60A1, U.S. Marine M60A1 with reactive armor, by the way. So, a U.S. Marine tank. I don't know, I just like the way it looks. It looked like a challenge to me, so I thought, sure, why not? It's a good price. Tamiya kits are always fun to build. Here we see some pictures on the side of a finished tank, I guess. This particular illustration of the tank shows it in a army green color of some sort. They call it a three-tone camouflage scheme. I guess there's another color in there. Gives you some ideas of how to paint it. And let's see, on the other side, we see some, looks to be actual photos of the tank. This is in the army green three-tone camouflage, I think. I'm looking at the treads here. They look like they have a lot of rust on them. Interesting there, too. Let's see what else they say about this kit. Okay, produced display model, realistic reactive armor plates, movable driver's hatch with commander and loader figures, plastic mesh for turret basket, realistic plastic tracks. Okay, so it's not the Lincoln length tracks, which is fine. I've built both kinds. These are certainly easier to put together and use. They don't have the detail and the realism of the Lincoln length tracks do, but that's okay. It'll come out just fine if you paint it a certain way. So I'm going to get into this and we'll open the box and see what we got. Okay, have the lid off the box, and this is what we find. We find laying in here the bottom part of the hull with wheel axle holders, or wheel axles are all going to go in there. The detail looks pretty good. There's lots of rivet detail. This looks to be a one-time model kit that you could motorize. I see places to hold batteries. I see on the back side here some openings. This would probably be for the motor, turning the motor on and off, or forward or backwards, or something like that. But it looks really well molded. Yeah. There's a slight bit of flash, but almost non-existent. So it looks pretty good. Down in the bottom here, it says 1970 Tamiya M60. All right. Next. The first plastic bag on top has 2 sprues and the decals. And should we open this up? Sure. Let's open it up, see, and look at them a little more closely. slide this off without wrecking anything. First thing that fell out was the decals. Here are the decals. 135th U.S. Marine M60A1 with reactive armor. All the decals are basically black with a couple little white stripes there. They look pretty good. There's no color registration to worry about on these. Okay. Next, here we have the main upper hull piece. This looks like it's been really well molded with some real nice detail. Very, very, very little flash on it. Just a hint of it here and there. And attached to it is the looks like the rear of the tank right here with some venting on it. There's a couple hatches. There's some more hatches there. Looks like a rear view mirror or something there. Some tie downs. Here we have some cylinders. Gas cylinders, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah. Same date stamped on the bottom of this upper half of the hull. The M60 1970 Tamiya. And on these pieces here, I'm looking to see what kind of flash I see. There's just a hint of some flash here and there, but nothing serious at all. Now this tank, this is interesting. The color of this plastic, this kit, is a desert yellow color, which is what the illustration is on the box top of the tank. The same color. So, you know, if you didn't want to paint this thing, you could just put it together, paint the treads, and put the decals on, and give it a coat of clear, and you'd be done. Do a little weathering to it, perhaps. You wouldn't even have to paint it. Isn't that interesting? All right, the next fret in that first bag. Let's flip it over here. Here we are. Here's where all the pieces of reactive armor are. That's these plates right here. This is the reactive armor. Here we see right there a figure. There's his arms. Some kind of rolled up tarp or duffel bag or something there. Over here we look like we have some axle pieces, some suspension pieces. Okay. A few little things like that. So that's the first plastic bag. Second plastic bag. I'm going to grab this one here. It's a smaller one. We'll open it up. Okay. Sitting on top of inside this plastic bag, we here see polycaps. These will all be used for the suspension so that the wheels will actually turn. At least that's the hope that they will. And these smaller sprues look to be all identical, and they are all 3 sprues of wheels. All the different wheels. This looks like all the different road wheels, basically. Road wheels and idler wheels. Let's look at one of these up close. Nice and clean, crisp molding. Looks really good. Here's the outside part of the wheel. Nice detail in there with the riveting. Really nice. Okay. Let's get those back over there. Now this next plastic bag. Let's see what's in it. There we go. Okay. This is the B sprue. Here we see another crew figure, minus his arms. Here we have the drive sprocket, or drive wheel. Here we have suspension parts. What else can I see here? Some more wheel parts down here. Looks like shock absorbers. And this long strip here, I am not exactly sure where that goes. It's either on the side of the tank or on the suspension or where the wheels go. Don't know. That's sprue B. Now we come to another big bag. This big bag has 2 sprues in it. The smaller of the 2 is sprue E. It has another crew figure on it. It has the cupola. It has the main gun in 2 halves. It has, looks like the main hatch on the cupola. Here are some smoke grenade launchers. There's an antenna. A little bit of railing there. And like the other sprues before this one, nice crispy molding, real clean. This one I see virtually no flash on it whatsoever. Very well molded for a kit that was made in 1970, I guess. Here is the turret, top and bottom. Now, this is really weird. Never seen this before in a model kit. On the very top of the turret right there, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or not, there is stamped into the molding a serial number and a copyright. Why is that on top? Why isn't that on the inside? Was that on the actual tank? I doubt it. So I'm probably going to have to remove that. Here is another set of main gun barrels in 2 halves. There's another set of sprockets. There's 1 half, there's the other half. Here is the mantlet, I believe it's called. That part of the turret where the gun comes out of the turret. Here is some railing. Jerry cans. Bunch of various grab handles and hooks and things like that. Okay. And as I said before, it's all molded in the desert yellow color to where you could just build this thing up the way it is. Paint a few little parts. Slap the decals on it. Do a little weathering. Give it a clear coat and you'd be done. All right. Down in the bottom there is a plastic bag that has piece of string. Here is the screen mesh stuff. Here are two pieces of metal rod that I believe are going to be for the drive axles. Probably. And then here we have the treads. The plasticky, rubbery treads that you simply put together like that. Paint them up and put them on the tank. They look good too. They're nice and thick. They're flexible. And then at the very bottom we have paperwork. Tech Tips by Tamiya. What is this? Octune attention. Warning. Make sure to heat sprue with PS marking. Other sprue may generate poisonous gas if heated. Ooh. That doesn't sound very good. And we have the instructions. U.S. Marine M60A1 with reactive armor 1/35 scale. Military Miniature Series number 157 by Tamiya. The design for the venerable M60 tank series dates back to the mid-1950s and has been a mainstay in the U.S. Armed Forces since then. In order to survive the increasing demands of battlefield operations, it has undergone numerous upgrades and improvement through the past 30 years. First produced in the Warren Army Tank Plant in Detroit, Michigan in 1963, the Type M60A1 variant has been acknowledged one of the masterpieces in U.S. armor history. Oops, lost my place. Major improvements found in the A1 version was the M68 105mm main gun, which was mounted in a sleek wedge-shaped monoblock cast turret. The U.S. Marines who currently operate the M60A1 tank have opted not to upgrade it to the A3 version. Because of plans to employ the M1A1 Abrams main battle tank, however, they did install the state-of-the-art reactive armor array on their M60s for improved survivability against shape-charged missiles and shells, calling the tank an M60A1 Plus. The externally mounted reactive armor used on the M60A1 Plus is a bolt-on kit that is spaced away from the main armor, adding additional dead airspace for increased protection. Combined with the RISE, which is Reliability Improved Selected Equipment program, including the improved stabilized gun, passive searchlight, a new air cleaner, etc., the M60A1 Plus is highly capable of remaining in the front-line operation as proved during the latest Persian Gulf conflict. All right, the rest of it's in a different language. And then as we open up inside, it is a fold-out instruction sheet, not book style, which I do not prefer, but that's okay. The book style instruction sheets are a little more portable and compact, but they're hard to turn the pages, I guess. I don't know. And after the front page, page 2, we have the little section right there that has all the colors that you're gonna probably use. Maybe not all of them, but depends on what color you paint this tank, I guess. Then we have the usual Tamiya instructions. Let's start with building the bottom of the tank and adding the suspension parts, and then adding the wheels, etc. We go on from there, just like normal. Here on page 8, they give you the basic idea of what and how to paint the crew members. And let's see, did I do this right? I can't tell if I did this. There's page 9, there's page 8, there's page 9. Okay, and then 10. Page 10 is the last page, and it has painting and applying decals sections. Painting. The M60A1 with reactive armor currently in use by the U.S. Marine Corps utilizes a 3-color camouflage scheme of black, olive green, and red-brown. Vehicles delivered to desert areas were painted in a monotone sand color, hence the desert yellow color. Detail painting is called out during construction and should be done at that time. Yes. Well, I'm not really decided yet what the color scheme I'm going to use is. I like that desert yellow. It's one of my favorite colors for armored vehicles. But I also like the 3-tone camouflage scheme. It looks pretty good. So there you have it. There is the U.S. Marine M60A1 with reactive armor in 1/35th scale by Tamiya. And looks like it's going to be a fun kit. And does not look too difficult to build. So put all these parts back in the box, and then next time I see you, we'll be starting on step 1. Okay, I am starting on this kit, and with step 1. Step 1 is going to be working on the lower hull, attaching all kinds of things to it. And within step 1, there is a subassembly here of the driver's seat that I have to put together. And that's going to all be on the C sprue, whereas whereas the other attachments to this lower hull is going to be in the B sprue and a couple pieces off the D sprue. So what I'll do first here is build this driver's seat, and those pieces are all on the C sprue. Alright, here is the C sprue. Move that lower hole out of the way, and we'll start finding these parts I need for the driver's seat assembly. First one is the driver's seat's floor. It's right here. There's the driver's seat floor. Got some decent detail on it. Next, we want the 2 seat parts, C6 and C12. There's C12 right here. Okay, put that over there. C6 will be the actual seat. Okay, and then C30 is a couple of cylinders. C30, a couple of cylinders, there they are. All right. Now, right away I noticed with these 2 cylinders, and let me show you a close-up of them. There's the 2 cylinders that are going to go next to the driver's seat. The old mold, I guess, is showing here because these things, when they're molded together, there is a pretty prominent molding seam line that goes all around the edge of this thing, all around the edge, and it's kind of uneven. So that's going to have to be sanded and evened out. The seat floor, the pilot seat, excuse me, the driver's seat floor looks just fine, as does the two parts that make up the actual seat. They look fine also. So it's only these cylinders here that were molded in. The seam line's showing pretty bad, so gonna have to do use a combination of some little files and an X-Acto blade. We'll see if we can't get those seam lines straightened out without hurting any of the detail. Okay, here is the driver's seat sub-assembly all glued together. There was basically 4 parts, and the only thing that needed any real cleanup were the 2 cylinders there. They had some pretty outstanding seam lines in them from the molding process. There is a little piece of nub here from the sprue that I just took off. I don't know that that's going to interfere with anything, but I just took it off anyway. Alright, now set that aside, let the glue completely dry up, set up, and all that good stuff. Now we're going to put our attention to the actual lower hull, and we're going to get some pieces for it. First pieces we're going to get are B1 and B2. So that's B1 and B2. I'll be right back. Okay, here's the B sprue. And, excuse me, the 2 pieces we're looking for are these little strips right here of armor. And we're just going to snip those off the sprue here. This is B1. B2. Then we go, we're still in the B sprue. Okay, we're going to get B5 and 7. Looks like the this is at the front of the tank, so I'm thinking this has something to do with the drive wheel, maybe? Not sure. B5 and 7. Okay, there they are. Okay. Then we're going to go to the D sprue. D sprue is this big one right here that has the turret on it. And we're looking for parts D4 and D5. There they are right there. Looks like gearboxes for the drive wheels. And then we need one of the poly caps. And it says long, okay? Poly caps are right here. They say we need the long one, okay? There's 2 long ones. Let's take one of them. There it is. All right. Now I'll get these parts laid out, and I'll be right back. Okay, in step 1 here, I put the polycap on here in the front. I just got through putting the little drive suspension pieces right here. There are two larger drive gearboxes here that go on the back, but I'm going to wait on those until I get these side pieces on. These side pieces, there are 1, 2, 3 plastic little teeth looking things like wedges sticking up, and those you have to line up with these little plastic doubled teeth that accept those wedges. That is supposed to help you line this thing up properly. Well, that's all well and good. However, when you do line those up, it's a little warped. So what I'll have to do is glue one section of it at a time. Yeah. Alright, I managed to get this one thin side piece on this lower hull. Right here, it contains a couple of mounting points for the, I think, the idler wheels. And it was very fiddly to get in. It was a little warped, so I had to glue a section of it and hold it in place till it's set up. Glue a section, hold that in place. Glue a section, hold that in place. So I've got it pretty good right now. Yeah. So I got to do the other side now, and I also, I also glued on this this big gearbox piece in the back of the tank right there. That fits on over this onto a couple of pegs there, same as on this side. Alright, so I am ready to put this driver's seat assembly inside the lower half of the hull. But before I do that, I want to paint it up a bit. I think it's going to be entirely up to me what colors to paint it, as they don't give you any colors in the instructions as you're building it. And it kind of looks like it won't even matter, because I don't think there's any way you're going to be able to see it. Yeah. There's a hatch in the very front of the tank, but still don't think you're going to see anything. I don't know. That'd be fun to paint it up though. So maybe I'll figure out some kind of a color to paint the interior of this thing, and we'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll glue it into right down in here. Then we'll be able to start on the next step, which is going to be adding shock absorbers and things like that. So when I come back, I will hopefully have this old driver's seat assembly painted up.